Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also on BrightShine. They're right here in the city of Memphis, in the county series in the state of Tennessee. Today, early Monday morning, October the 28th, 2019, the time 4:50 a.m. First thing, thank all my family on support for your continued encouragement support. This is part 2 of the same video. I just ended part 1, and like I said, it's going to be dated October the 28th, 2019. I just ended part 1. This is part 2 of the same video. See, like I said, when we talk about the history of Chicago, the folk nation and the my people nation. And see the boss pimps. See, when we talk about the history of Chicago, the boss pimps, you know, like I said, in the folk nation. Now see, some of these organizations, these street organizations, they branched off from each other. That's the reason why you see what you see today, the Blue Fin, Black Disciples, and the Black Souls, the Boss Pimps, and so on and so forth. The Black Gangster, New Breeds. See, they all branched off when you seen the Black Gangster Disciple, Black Gangster Disciple, then when the folk nation, the Black Gangster Disciples branched off from each other. Then you see the Gangster Disciples and the Black Disciples and the Black Gangster New Breeds. You don't see nowhere in the history of the folk nation or the my people nation talking about a blood gang or a crip gang in the history of Chicago. And you won't see no bloodstone or limestone in the history of Chicago. Nowhere. Nowhere in the history of Chicago. That's where I've been saying, retaliate. Retaliate on the so-called blood gang and the crip gang. Talking about bloodstone and limestone. Retaliate. That's them East Coast bitches. Now this video might be about 3 years old, but today it's still relevant today. It's still, relevant today. And see, this is the reason why you don't see no bloodstone. You don't see no limestone. You don't see no blood gang. You don't see no crip gang in the history of Chicago. Retaliate. That's them East Coast bitches. Retaliate. You just seen them videos, drill rappers and all that. And the majority you seen with Folk Nation and My People Nation. You ain't seen no Blood Gang, ain't no Crip Gang. You ain't seen no Bloodstone, you ain't seen no Limestone. The history of Chicago, there's no such thing, no Blood Gang, no Crip Gang. Ain't no such thing, no Bloodstone, no Limestone. In the history of Chicago, retaliate. That's the reason why them East Coast bitches having a hard time in the jail and on the street. Because you be lying. See, you don't have no information that anybody anywhere on this earth need to listen to. Them old world secrets aside from Africa and from Asia and from Europe. You be lying. When you read the Old Testament in the Bible, the Pharaoh that oppressed the children of Israel, a so-called devil worshiper. When he prayed to his God and Moses prayed to his God, the little G and the big G. Even before that, in the book of Genesis, Abram and Abraham. When God changed Abram's name to Abraham, he made a promise to his seed that God gonna give, because Abraham believed in the Lord. Believed in the Lord. The word believe does not apply to the devil. Just like worship don't apply to the devil and all those other hope, faith, it don't apply to the devil. Satan, it don't apply. So all that line, those ancient so-called devil worshiping people, they were Afro-Asiatic. That's where all that Islam and Muslim came from them ancient Afro-Asiatic people. And talking about entire submission to the will of God. Them ancient Afro-Asiatic people, the Girgasites, the Jebusites, the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Hittites. Now the Hittites and the Philistines, they're Indo-European. All the rest of them people, they were Afro-Asiatic. That's where that Muslim come from. That's where that Islam came from them ancient Afro-Asiatic people. That was you people on the East Coast. You be lying. You be lying. See, this is the history of Chicago, Illinois. Chicago, Illinois. The history of Chicago, Illinois. The Folk Nation and the My People Nation. Now the Boss Pimps, they not on this video or the video that's come behind. But see, in the Folk Nation, in the history of Chicago, the Boss Pimps, they in the history of Chicago. The Blood Gang and the Crip Gang not. They not in the history of Chicago. The so-called Bloodstone and the Limestone, they not in the history of Chicago. But the Boss Pimps, they in the history of Chicago. Like I've been saying, retaliate on the so-called Bloodstone, Limestone. Retaliate on the so-called Blood Gang and Crip Gang. Retaliate. That's them East Coast bitches. The East Coast bitches having a hard time in the jail and on the street. Now see, when you're watching this video, and the video come out, you're going to see the blue-fin black disciple. See, in the history of Chicago, the black disciple, the folk nation. Now you just seen the black soul. See, that's what I'm saying about the boss pimps, the folk nation. See, some of these groups, these street boys, they branched off. And that's what the boss pimps, but see, the boss pimps was already an organization just like the black soul. And see, they branched off from each other. They branched off from the folk nation. And that's what that blue-fin black disciple is. They were black disciples. And I see Jerome King Shorty Freeman. See, he was before he passed away, he was the king over the black disciple. And see, this guy named Marvell Vale, he kind of the one that started that blue-fin black disciple. You know, here it is right here. Here it is, the blue-fin black disciple. But see, you keep saying black disciple. See, meaning some blue-fin. I mean, they branched off from the black disciple. But see, that was the boss pimp. You know what I'm saying? The boss pimp branched off from the folk nation. They all folk. They were all part of the folk nation. That was the boss pimp. You see, that was so when we talk about the history of Chicago, the boss pimp is in the history of Chicago. And when you say boss, that's the history of Chicago. That's the folks, the brothers of struggle, the boss pimps. say in that video, when you know the history of Chicago in general, and then when you see the folk nation and the my people nation, you know, you see the black soul, the gangster disciple, black disciple, the folks, and then you see the my people, the folk corner hustlers, the vice lords, you know, the black pea stone, you know, the black prince stone, and so, you know, all the other stone, you know, in the history, you know, the folk nation and the my people nation, you know. Now the boss pimps, like I say, the folk nation, they in the history of Chicago. Because when you talk about the folk nation, when they started the folk nation and the my people nation, see the boss pimps, they were folks. And when you say boss, the brothers of struggle. See, they part of the folk nation. They had Brandon later on, you know, the black gangster, when it was the black gangster disciples. And then, you know, for some bad reason, you know, they branched off from each other. Then there was the black gangsters and the gangster disciples and the black disciples. Then you heard, and then the black souls, they branched off from the folk nation. Then you heard something like the blue fin black disciples. You know, they branched off from the black disciples. But see, the boss pimps, later on they branched off from the folk nation. And so, you know, so it's different. But see, you don't hear nothing in the history of Chicago. No blood gang, no crip gang. That's what you don't hear. You're not in the history of Chicago. You don't hear no bloodstone, no limestone. You don't hear that. Because it's not the history of Chicago. That's them East Coast bitches. That's them East Coast bitches. Retaliate. Retaliate. And what like I've been telling you, get them automatic rifles up to Chicago and North. Get them automatic rifles, them AK-40, get them automatic rifles up to Chicago and North. Retaliate. history of Chicago, the folk nation, my people nation, all those that are up under the folk nation and my people nation, the boss pimps, they were affiliated with the folk nation, like the Black Soul, and like the Black Disciple, and then you had this branch off, the Blue Fin Black Disciple, branched off from the Black Disciple, which was folk. The boss pimp branched off from the folk nation, and so in some kind of way said something, but they branched off from the folk nation. That's the history of Chicago. You don't see no blood gang and no Crip gang in the history of Chicago. You don't see no Bloodstone. You don't see no Limestone in the history of Chicago. Retaliate. Retaliate. See, you play with people. See, you be playing. See, there be no East Coast bitches playing with the people in Chicago and everybody else. You understand? Retaliate. See, them East Coast bitches have a hard time in jail and on the street because you be lying. You be lying. See, them sororities and fraternities on the East Coast and them old world secret society people from Africa, Asia, and Europe, they come over here to America from the old world. And then a lot of times they settle on the East Coast. And see, they lie to people on the East Coast. And then you end up in Chicago. And then you try to lie. Retaliate. Now, street slang, gang, mob, Sterling, plus Sterling, Merriam-Webster's Third New International Dictionary, and Oxford English Dictionary give you the complete total definition of any and every word in the dictionary. Meaning boss, goon, thug, crook, hooligan, Mac player, pimp, whore, hustler, nigga, field nigga house, and street slang. When it comes to music, hip and hop, rock and roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, funk, doo-wop, bebop, street slang. Ain't nothing official or right, but no street slang. When it comes to money, currency exchange, street slang. Bucks, bank, stack, band, bread, don't scratch, Luke Moody, Benjamin, dead president. It's street slang. Nothing official or right, by no street slang. The sorority and the fraternity. Don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. United States Department of Justice. Hazing is a crime. Hazing is a crime. The sorority and fraternity use hazing in the initiation ritual. So-called devil worship. You don't put devil and worship together. It's an oxymoron. It don't apply. The sorority fraternity, they commit crimes on and off the campus. They use and abuse tobacco products. They indulge in gambling and gang of chance. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. They indulge in immoral activity. They indulge in sexual deviance and depravity. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity. Don't join the sorority fraternity. Get out of the sorority fraternity. Discourage others from being involved in the sorority fraternity. Expose the sorority and fraternity. All those persons that initiated, started the sorority and fraternity, them old world secret society from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, renounce them. Denounce the sorority, the whole concept, idea of sorority and fraternity, them old world secret society from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, denounce. The sorority and fraternity, they work and manage the businesses, the companies, the corporations. They use and misuse the background check. They commit crimes against humanity, atrocities, violation of human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, and ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, groundwater, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment, nature and wildlife. Don't let the sorority and the fraternity mislead you. Don't be misled by them old world secret society from Africa, from Asia, from Europe. The pre-13 colony history. Harvard University, the oldest institute of higher learning in the United States, founded March 13, 1639, Cambridge, Massachusetts. William and Mary Cotton, Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 8, 1693. Second oldest institute of higher learning in the United States of America. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December 5, 1776, the College of William and Mary, and recognized the first Greek letter student society in North America. Alpha Delta Pi First Sorority, founded in 1851, Wesleyan College, Macon, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority was Gamma Phi Beta. Established on November 11, 1874, Syracuse University, Syracuse, New York. Now, the first women's fraternity, DuPont College, 18 something. Now, the basis of the sorority and fraternity is the old world secret society from Africa, from Asia, from Europe. For example, the Eastern Star of the Freemasons. They talk about Euclid, the mathematician, lived in Alexandria, Egypt, 1390, 1425, mentioned in the Harwell manuscript, the read the poem, the Cook manuscript. And the Downer manuscript. Now, examples of the old world secret society from Africa, from Asia, and from Europe. Skull and Bone, Rosicrucian, the Sun, Living Thug South, the Pride Scion, the Order of Temple Oriented, Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Wood, the Ancient Arab Order of the Nobles of the Mist Shrine, and Improved Order of Raven, the Peel Sisterhood, the Eastern Star of the Freemasons, the Elks, the Lower Order of Moose, the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Bethlehem, Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati Forest Society, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of Baal, Prophets of the Enchanted Realm, United Order of the Golden Cross, United Ancient Order of Druid, National Grand, Ancient Order of Urban Hand, the Open Die, the Knights Templar, the Scottish Rite, and just a few. The Spanish Garduna, the Carbonari, the Black Hand. You say Mafia, that's Afro-Asiatic. You say Costa Nostra, that's Latin. The Triad, the Yakuza, the Osiris, just a few. Now, this is the International Bill of Human Rights. And this is the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And this is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. And this is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And this is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. And this is the International Federation for Human Rights. And this is the world's oldest international conservation organization, the BrightShine International. This is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. This is the world's oldest global environmental organization, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, and also the World Wildlife Fund. There's some more. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights Frontline Defenders, Human Rights Without Frontier, International Serving Human Rights. Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, Conservation Fund, Legal Conservation Board, Earth Watch Institute, Conservancy Association, Earth Justice, Conservation Volunteer, Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust. Biodiversity and Nature Conservancy Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, the Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, the Rainforest Trust, the International Rainforest Conservation Organization, Rainforest Alliance, the Rainforest Action Network. Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, and Nature Conserve, Wildlife Conservation Society. Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, Ocean Preservation Society, Ocean Society, Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance. Now, all these organizations, they're trying to stop all the crimes that the sorority and the fraternity commit in them old world secret societies from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, trying to stop. Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, a liar, a murderer, the devil. He wrote all those epistles that's in the Holy Bible, and they were put in the New Testament. And in those epistles, he called himself an apostle. He was lying. He's not no apostle. He was lying. Now, the man-made religious organization, they used those epistles that Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, wrote. And one of the verses they use, Romans chapter 16, verse 16, so the one with the Holy Ghost, the church with the suffix, the churches, Christ salute. Another verse that the man-made religious is Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul wrote 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 4. So do we ourselves glory in you in the church with the suffix churches of God for your patience and faith in all your persecution, tribulation, that ye endure. You know that's a lie. When you say devil and worship, that's a lie. It's a lie. There's no such thing putting them words together. That's a lie. It's an oxymoron. You're putting ism on the end of Satan. See, all you be doing is lying. All you doing is lying. You know them East Coast bitches be doing, you be lying. This is a list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. For example, state name: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North and South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Now scroll down all the way to the bottom where it says see also, and then you'll see a list of place names of indigenous origin in America. Now, when you say piracy and the pirates, when we be talking about devil and worship, they don't go together. That's a lie. The United States Department of Justice, the Office of Juvenile Justice Links for Prevention, the Bureau of Justice System, the National Gang Center and Bulletin, and the title of their bulletin, History of Street Gangs in the United States, and it is written by Mr. James C. Howell and Mr. John P. Moore. Now you can find this same information on the quick reference Wikipedia and its title, Gangs in the United States. Now, the United States government enacted the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970, Title 9 of the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970, the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, the RICO Act. It's anti-gang. And also the Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act of 1970, the Controlled Substance Act, the Psychotropic Substance Act, the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Act, Kingpin Act. It's all anti-gang. The Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act of 1974 established the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, as well as other related legislation, the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, and the Comprehensive Gang Model Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the Office of Justice Program, the United States Department of Justice. The Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the United States Department of Justice, the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative Project Safe Neighborhood, the United States Department of Justice, Office of Community-Oriented Policing Service, Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the International Narcotics Law Enforcement Affairs, the United States Department of State Institute and the Government Affairs, the Gang Resistant Education and Training Grant Program, the United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. In October 2009, the National Youth Gang Center, which has been funded by the Office of Juvenile Justice believed prevention. Since 1995, murder with the National Gang Center, which has been funded by the Bureau of Justice since 2003. The National Gang Center compilation state law against gang prevention overview research program is in James Office of Juvenile Justice and Legal Prevention. The United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice, Office of Juvenile Justice and Legal Prevention, National Gang Center Bullet. In the title of the book, History of Street Gangs in the United States, you can find the same information on the quick reference. Wikipedia title, Gangs in the United States. The United States Department of Justice, Office of the United States Attorney, Man, 1457 Criminal Street Gang, Stat 18, United States Code 521, United States Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, National Gang Intelligence Center, the United States Department of Justice, Organized Crime and Gang Section. Then you have other federal, state, and local agencies, the United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, Anti-Gang Strategy, Prevention, Intervention, Assessment, and Suppression, the United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, National Center for Injury Prevention and Control, changing course, preventing gang membership, and also strive to reduce youth violence everywhere. The United States Department of Justice, the United States Department of Education, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, the United States Department of Labor, and the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, National Forum Youth Violence Prevention Forum. You can go to youth.gov and be informed about the National Forum of Youth Violence Prevention, as well as the Comprehensive Anti-Gang and the Comprehensive Gang Law, the United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice System, National Crime Prevention Council, keeping kids out of gangs, and the United States Department of Justice, anti-hate. You can go to lawyer.com and be informed about anti-hate. The birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Matthew chapter 1, verse 18 through 25. Matthew chapter 2, verse 1 through 23. Luke chapter 1, verse 1 through 8. And Luke chapter 2, verse 1 through 52. The Lord's Supper. Matthew chapter 26, verses 26 through 29. Mark chapter 14, verse 22 through 25. Luke chapter 22, verse 15 through 22. The Lord's Prayer. Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 through 13. And Luke chapter 11, verses 2 through 4. Read the Beatitudes. Matthew chapters 5, 6, and 7. And Luke chapter 6, verses 20 through 49. John the Baptist. Matthew chapter 3, verse 1 through 17, emphasize verse 11 through 17. Mark chapter 1, verse 1 through 11, emphasize verse 7 through 11. Luke chapter 3, verse 1 through 22, emphasize verse 16 through 22. And John chapter 1, verse 15 through 34, emphasize verses 26 through 34. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, teaching in the synagogue. Matthew chapter 4, verse 23. Mark chapter 1, verse 21. Luke chapter 4, verse 15. John chapter 6, verse 59. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, begins his ministry. Matthew chapter 4, verses 12 through 25, emphasize verses 23 through 25. Mark chapter 1, verses 14 through 45, emphasize verse 14 and 39 through 45. Luke chapter 4, verse 14 through 44, emphasize verse 15, 43, and 44. John chapter 1, verse 35 through 51. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, chose 12 disciples. Matthew chapter 10, verses 1 through 42. Mark chapter 3, verses 13 through 35. Luke chapter 6, verses 13 through 49. John chapter 6, verses 59 through 71. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, established the one and only church. Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 19. Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 20. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, gives us a commission. Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 16, verse 14 through 20. Luke chapter 24, verse 44 through 49. John chapter 21. The death, burial, and resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God. Matthew chapter 26, verse 1 through 75. Matthew chapter 27, verse 1 through 16. Emphasize verse 50. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 57 through 6. Matthew chapter 28, verse 1 through 20, emphasize verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 14, verse 1 through 17. Mark chapter 15, verse 1 through 47. Emphasize verse 37. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. Also verses 43 through 47. Mark chapter 16, verse 1 through 20. Emphasize verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 22, verse 1 through 71. Luke chapter 23, verses 1 through 56. Emphasize verse 46. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 50 through 56. Luke chapter 24, verse 1 through 53. Emphasize verses 44 through 53. John chapter 17, verse 1 through 26. John chapter 18, verse 1 through 40. John chapter 19, verses 1 through 42. Emphasize verse 30. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. Also verse 38 through 42. John chapter 20, verse 1 through 31. And John chapter 21, verses 1 through 25. Our Lord Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, gave his apostle commission. Matthew chapter 28, verse 16 through 20. Mark chapter 16, verse 14 through 20. Luke chapter 24, verse 44 through 49. And John chapter 21. Now see, this is what God said about that so-called devil worship. And talking about putting ism on the end of Satan. It's no such thing. There's no such thing as devil in worship. You lying. It's a lie. Ain't no such thing, no Satanism. That Christian is a lie. That Christian is the occult. It's the occult. Webster's Third New International Dictionary, the complete and total definition and meaning of the word gang, the act, manner, or means of going. sorority and that stupid fraternity. This is sister. And this is brother. Oxford English Dictionary, the complete and total definition of the meaning of the word gang. Action or mode of going, way, passing, a set of things or person. Stupid sorority and stupid fraternity. These are just a few of the free logo design websites you go to make anti-gang logo. I'm gonna get ready to end today's video. like I say, the history of Chicago. The history of Chicago. Before the Folk Nation and My People Nation, and the pre and post Folk Nation, My People Nation. The history of Chicago is important. See, when you go back to the Imperial Chaplains and the 14th Street Clovers, see, it's important. The history of Chicago. The history of Chicago. And even before that, before the Imperial Chaplain, before the 14th Street Clovers, the history of Chicago. See, when you be talking about some bloodstone and some limestone, talking about some blood gang and crip gang, nowhere in the history of Chicago do you see the blood gang and the crip gang. Nowhere. You don't see nowhere in the history of Chicago the bloodstone and limestone. Nowhere. Nowhere in the history of Chicago. See, the people in Los Angeles, they say, man, why do you keep saying it? Because of the history of Chicago. See, you go back to Al Capone and, all that. And then you see the things you see in Los Angeles. The history of Chicago. Now, the so-called East Coast. See, the lies that people tell. Them old world secret society from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, them old world secret society. They be lying. And what they be lying about? The devil. And God, the devil. There's no such thing as worse than the devil. No such thing. It don't go together. Devil and worship, it don't go together. You can put ism on the end of Satan. There's no such thing as Satanism. There's no such thing as you using your body as you say you're going to do these rituals to Satan, to devil. You be lying. See, when you finally admit that you just be lying, you be lying. Because God punished the devil for all eternity. And see, when you don't try to go to heaven, God said that I prepared a place for you to be blessed, to be rewarded for eternity. And then you turn around and reject the blessing, the reward from God. See, there's only one place for you to be punished by God. It's hell. It's gonna die. It's gonna die. That's all you're gonna do. That's what it's gonna come down to anyway. Death. Because God told you in His Word. Sin is death. You don't want to live, then you're gonna die. That's what you be doing when you tell all them lies, and then when you lie, you do all these evil acts and deeds. The only thing you're saying, I want to die. So, like I've been saying, you get them automatic rifles, them AK-47 up in Chicago, Illinois, and kill the bloodstone and the limestone, the so-called blood gang, kill them. Because that's the East Coast bitches. That's them East Coast bitches. See, then when it comes to Los Angeles, California, see, there's no such thing as a blood gang, a crip gang. So you don't have to be sitting around like, oh, I ain't gonna take it, hey, you got me fucked up and all. There's no such thing as a blood gang and a crip gang. Never has been. It's them East Coast bitches. See? It's them East Coast bitches. That's me right there having a hard time in the jail and on the street. That's them East Coast bitches. Retaliate. Like I've been saying, retaliate. Ain't nothing that they saying right. No such thing. All the folk nation, all of my people nation in Chicago, no, there's no such thing. There should be no reason. Talking about in Chicago, no, talking about a blood gang, a crip gang. Talking about a bloodstone in our lives. No reason for all that. Just like I've been saying, the boss pimps. That's the history of Chicago. That's the history of Chicago. They not from Detroit. They not from Memphis. You understand? The boss pimp started right there in Chicago. In Chicago. They the folk nation. Then they branched off from the folk nation. That's Chicago. Nobody outside Chicago can say nothing about the boss pimp. I mean, they get into fights, and they get into altercations, and, conflict with the folk, with the insane gang disciples, and with the black gangsters, with the black disciples, with the vice lords, with the four corner hustlers, with the Mickey Cobras. They had these issues in Chicago, but that's Chicago. We're talking about a bloodstone and a limestone. That's some East Coast bullshit nonsense. The blood gang, the crip gang, that's some East Coast nonsense. Now, I did my music, Fiend for the Green, that's I wrote the lyrics, and like I said, I bought the beat from the logo, but I'm still gonna do mine, and I'm working on some more material, so all my fans, my support, can look forward, to my music and things of nature. But I'm gonna get ready to end today's video. And again, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known BrightShine, there right here, City of Memphis, and then account shit in the States. Thank all my fans, my support for your continued support. And always remember that there is a God. No such thing, no devil being worshipped. It don't apply. Belief, hope, and faith, it don't apply. No such thing. There's only one God, only one church. That church has been and being persecuted. It's being persecuted. Who told you that the church was wrong? Keep studying the first century. See, that's when you keep studying the first century. Who told you the church was wrong? They're talking about some Islam and being a Muslim. Them ancient Afro-Asiatic people. Them ancient Afro-Asiatic people. That's where Muslim came from. One who submits their entire will to God. The little G, big G. Islam, anti-submission to the will of God. When you say make up all that, them ancient Afro-Asiatic people, that's where it came from. That's where it came from. Till next time, take care of yourself. I wish each and every one of you the very best.